which was like actually a drop down from the previous from 2015. So and it seems like a lot of bigger teams like India and stuff. India doesn't want to play a lot of new teams, so they hosted Afghanistan for Afghanistan's first test match. They also played Bangladesh's first test match, but I think then it took like another 10 years for them to play Bangladesh again after that, or at least visit Bangladesh to play a match. So I think there is definitely a problem of I would say not the BCCI in particular, but the big three having things their way and preferring that the power remains with two or three boards rather than be spread across.
Okay. Even I had a
just one point I'd like to add on that is that I am not very fond of the other extreme as well. So recently, I think like about 2 years ago, they extended status for T20s to like just about 100 different teams. So you have like team like Qatar playing some Djibouti and something like that, and they all have ODI status and T20 international status, which to me in a sense kind of pollutes the record book. So my main love of cricket is more stats based and history based, and from a statistical point of view, at least it just like dumps a lot of garbage into that pool. So yeah, I would definitely say that more opportunities are good, but we need more for a tier system where we can classify those as maybe different, and then you can have teams moving between tiers, but just giving everyone the same status to me has ended up with like so many records in the last 2 years in T20 internationals that are literally irrelevant because the Czech Republic got like bowled out for 10 or something, and that becomes like the lowest score now. So, from that point of view, yes, there is a problem.
I didn't know Djibouti had a team, Anand.
I didn't either. I mean, I don't even know if they do, but it's probably like 5 Indians and 6 Pakistanis over there playing for them.
I don't know. Djibouti even exists right now. All right, Naman, can I just go to my next one, please? I want to hear about these two guys. All right. Okay, Arnold and Naman, and we'll start with Naman. Manas Stem. Right, Manas. I just want to ask you about that amazing.
VCat, just a second. Arnold and Manas, you aren't visible. Can you just switch off your
am I
video?
not?
Yes.
Can I? Is it any better now? I don't know.
No, Parth can't see you. So just try putting off your video and again starting.
Yeah, I'm
sure.
trying.
I'll try that. Yeah. I just did that. So maybe it will take a few seconds.
Yeah, just let me know.
There's a definite lag. You can see that. Oh no.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, for the benefit of our audience, I'll just add to what Arnold said. See, cricket is the love for cricket generally builds in 3 stages among people. First, maybe as a kid you watch people playing. Then there's a stage 2 in which you start playing and watching and watch to improve yourself as a player. And step 3 is you go back into either watching or passing your knowledge to the next generation. So perhaps the first bit is something that's not as developed as in the case of a more global sport like football, which is why thinking that for say a World Cup in cricket would start attaining the same quality like a World Cup in football immediately is a tall task. And therefore what Arnold said makes a lot of sense. You have to have teams in different tiers, and then they need to compete, they need to learn from competition, and then of course come on to a higher pedestal.
Okay. VCat, you can proceed.
All right, fantastic. So I'm just intrigued. And so we'll go with Manas first. Just tell me about this, and I have this old memory anyways. That amazing moment of live cricket action that you saw on TV or at the ground. I mean, tell us about it. I mean, what was the first time it's like, oh my God, this happened. I'm right here at the stadium, or I'm right here, For me, it was like that, Venkatesh Prasad, knocking out Amir Sohail, for example. And I was like, oh my God, these things can happen. Fantastic, Something similar to that. I'm intrigued to hear from both of you.
Yeah. So there are plenty of memories that way, but I'll start with how I have been very unlucky for Team India whenever I have been to the stadium. So the first match that I saw was India versus West Indies somewhere in 2003-04 in Jamshedpur. a match which is more known for the bottle throwing that my fellow audience did. I wasn't one of them, so leave me aside on that. And the fact that while it did help India to get some time, and Windies have had to play almost in the darkness, but ultimately we end up losing on the second last ball when Ram Naresh Sarwan hit Ashish Nehra for a four. So that's a bad memory. Another bad memory is when I got tickets to what would have been the India versus England tied match in 2011 World Cup. Unfortunately, at the last moment, the venue got changed from Kolkata to Bangalore. I wasn't able to witness what in my view is one of Sachin's greatest one-day international innings. But thankfully, I also had the tickets to the India versus South Africa game. There, a live site, perhaps some of us would remember, a bouncer from Dale Steyn, which Sachin hooked for a six, the square leg boundary. And this was his last international one-day international century within India. So I was fortunate enough to witness that. Unfortunately, once again, India lost. And the last bit is in my quest to see Team India winning overseas, I actually went till Nottingham last year, 2019. But the match, it rained out, guys. India versus New Zealand. So,
All right. Can we move to some positive memories? I'm looking for like.
I mean, if you want to see India winning overseas, England is like not a place that most people would pick as a very wise choice to go and hope that they win overseas. But
absolutely, I do remember one incident. India versus Pakistan. Venkatesh Prasad fielding at mid off and running a batsman out by throwing the ball between his legs. So that is one memory that remains. I think many of us oldies would perhaps recall that moment.
Yeah, but I was looking for something like electric, fantastic, positive, life affirming.
So that is the same match, Ajay Jadeja. The thrashing that he gave Waqar Yunis, and that Waqar's face was like, this is what you deserve, guys. Waqar, go off. So that was something really great. And of course, the 2003 innings wherein Shoaib Akhtar was shown his place by Sachin Tendulkar. That 1-6 followed by Sehwag emulating him in the next over, showing what he could do at a relatively lesser pace of again Waqar Yunis. So those memories will stay with me forever.
All right, moving to Arnold.
I don't know. If I had to pick one, it would probably be from what was I'm not a big fan of ODIs, but my favorite ODI would be 1999 at Baston, the semi-final, Australia, South Africa. So just that last over. And I don't have a favorite team in cricket. I know it's Independence Day today, but I'm going to say that I don't even really support India. I'd rather India lose in a good close match than they win by like a landslide. But if I had to be partial to some team, I'd probably say I'm a fan of the Australian cricket team. So that semi-final had everything, literally everything in it. And I'm also a Vaughan fan, so that's
great.
I mean, there was just everything there.
This wasn't specific to ODIs, by the way. Even a test memory would do.
Yeah, but I'm picking an ODI one.
Picking an ODI one. All right, fine. I've seen you cheering for completely opposite sides that shall not be named in a.
I mean, if like I said, I don't have any particular side. So if everyone's cheering for one side, then I kind of tend to root for like the other side, just so that you balance things a little bit.
Yeah, with the hint of violence,
Yes, at great risk of physical harm. You're right.
Great personal risk. Anyway, all right. Cricket and quizzing question. Naman, I'll just finish this one, then you can take questions after this, and just finish them all off after that. Is that all right? Okay. Now, being the knowledgeable personages that you are, the both of you, have you ever encountered this situation where you felt that the QM, she was completely wrong, you knew better, have you kind of just thrown a pencil at her like some of our BQC guys do? Or did you just walk off the stage? Or did you just like humor and just smile, okay, little girl, whatever?
Why are you assuming that the wrong QM is a woman though? Is what I don't understand.
This is the ghost of St. Mary's. Okay,
Acha.
so yeah,
Okay, that
disregard.
makes
I mean,
sense. Then.
yeah, disregard. I mean, okay,
Yeah.
it could be a male or female. It's all right.
So firstly, I would never walk off the stage because I'm hardly ever on stage. My, just like another popular franchisee, I would like to name myself a part of Team 9 because that's where I always end up somehow and gain accolades from the quizmaster. But yes, there are occasions, there are cases like, people, particularly when it's a question related to women's cricket, wherein people forget that the double century that Mithali Raj actually scored was in a test match and not in a one day. So they start confusing, and so such things happen. Yes.
Okay.
But
I think
then,
that's actually become quite a favorite of quizmasters over the last few years. Is that you ask a question where everyone thinks it's like men's cricket, and the answer is you don't specify
Yeah,
like him or
yeah.
her, and then it turns out that it's a women's thing because no one ever thinks of like
I
women's cricket.
I remember something. We had a cricket quiz in our quarantine quiz session, and there was a cricket by Aditya Yawalkar on Blind Cricket Cup. Do you guys
Yeah,
oh yes,
remember?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so no
yeah.
one cracked it. Yes, yeah, the blind cricket thing.
I think I guessed women's cricket for that because like I'm not
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
think of blind cricket, but I knew that whatever was said over there didn't apply to or didn't fit any men's cricket stuff. So I think I
uh-huh.
just went with like women's cricket World Cup
Yes,
as a guest or something.
And there are
yeah,
there are VCat issues like, say, people say that, for example, the Bapu Nadkarni, the epic spell. But if you look at it technically, then Arnold will tell you that there is another fellow who has equal claim to the record of bowling the most number of continuous maiden overs or maiden deliveries rather. So those are issues that do come in. So of course, in a purist kind of a cricket quiz, the quiz master better be very, very prepared and thorough in his research or her research.
okay, so we have two
Fantastic.
people from BCQC commenting. Aditya Gadre and Pranay Jha have asked, please share your best impressions of your favorite commentators.
Impression or impersonation? Because I think impersonations only VCat can do. But uh,
No, no,
yeah,
I guess I have received it on the WhatsApp thing. So it's like, please share your best. Okay, so it may be impersonation. Can someone
I think
check
it's
the
impersonation,
chat box?
and I think it's a marvelous question.
I think Wicket is trying to do that.
No,
Come on,
no,
Wicket.
no, no. I'm not. I'm not. I don't do commentators.
Was that Aditya Gadre taking my
Yeah,
question?
it was
Because
Aditya Gadre. It was Gadre.
I can't do an Australian accent, but I'm still trying to say marvelous with an Australian accent. I just can't. But I think I if you ask me for my favorite commentator, it would easily be Richie Beno. I mean, I don't think anyone else is close.
I agree. I agree. Richie Bano is a personal favorite, although I cannot impersonate this one. But Mark Nicholas would, amongst the current commentators, I guess, come close. He seems to be quite erudite in the way he explains things.
I
Okay,
think the problem I have with Mark Nicholas is something that I had with Tony Gregg as well, who was great in terms of like just mass audience popularity, but for me he just got too excited. I mean, I don't want to hear him, just having some sort of a fit or something on this thing when I'm watching a cricket match. I still remember that Sharjah innings of Sachin, and this guy he was going insane. It was taking away from the actual cricket over there. So I think that in that respect, Richie Beno knew how not to speak, and I think that was important.
uh, a personal question from my side. So, what do you guys think about Sanjay Manjrekar?
Maybe the guy wearing the Sanjay Manjrekar shirt from the 1992 World Cup can answer that.
Oh, you
Are
mean
you wearing
Sanjay
a
Manjrekar?
Manjrekar shirt? No.
It's
Uh,
an India shirt,
uh,
but yes, 92 was not good for any Indian fan or cricketer that way. Uh, so Manjrekar as a cricketer or as a commentator?
As a commentator, he is involved in a lot of controversy.
So, see, we all know what he has said, and I think he's been made to more than realize that. So, we read a lot of news about him. But then, so there are issues that with Indian cricketers, for example, people playing way past their prime, and there are people who need to question those question those kind of age-old practices which somehow deprive young cricketers from getting their spot in the team. So there were specific comments that he made, but of course one needs to calibrate, because there are a number of factors playing into how you become popular as a commentator these days. Not the least bit of which is which board you represent during the transmission. So of course, Manjrekar is unique that way, and I wouldn't mind listening to him, but I would things like the discussion that he had with Harsha Bhogle during the day and night test match. Those are not really welcome discussions. But at the same time, if he can come with the clarity that he comes with in his autobiography, which incidentally is one of my favorite autobiographies for any Indian cricketer, that would be very welcome.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, any other questions in the chat box?
There are other questions. I can see.
I think I agree that Manjrekar does like make the sometimes needed blunt points that a lot of other people who are BCCI spokespersons, as VCat would say, refuse to do. And yeah, he might be wrong more often than not, or at least quite often. But at least in a few cases, he's also apologized later, saying that not for having said it, but for having been wrong about it. And I think that's fair enough. Bits and pieces from the semi-final in the 2019 World Cup comes to mind.
Okay, so we'll be taking another question and moving on to the rapid fire round.
I see a question on the role of Rishabh Pant in the Indian team. I think VCat and Arnold love him, so maybe their views.
I am actually too old to even know who he is, but but I think I do like what I've seen of him though, and I think he's also like one of those hit and miss kind of guys, but those are the exciting ones. So I think hit and miss. I think consistency is kind of overrated in cricket, to be very honest, because consistent players are really going to win you matches. It's more of the ones you look at actually the greatest players who had the most impact over the years were not the most consistent ones. They were the ones who on their day could win a match, and that's what's important.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
Okay. So, VCat, you are audible.
No. I just said how much time do we have? So
we have 15 minutes. We have 15 minutes.
All right. There are questions from other people. I can see that.
Okay, let's take them. Not a problem.
Meanwhile, maybe Arnold, with your knowledge, you can tell us the most mind-blowing fact that you learned about cricket during your reading career.
I'm going to have to think about that one actually. But
actually,
I was
after you complete Arnold, there is a nice question from our technical guy, Parth. So after you complete this,
go ahead with that. Go ahead with that, and I'll think of the fact in the
okay.
On the side. Yeah.
So, should the racial quotas in the South African national do the racial quotas in the South African national cricket team continue?
Should they or do they?
No, do they? He has written should they. I will rephrase it. Do they continue?
Well, they are on right now, so whether they continue or not is not a thing. I mean, should they is the question.
Okay. Should they continue? Yeah. Should they continue? I didn't know about do they. So
Naman, nobody asked these questions in '92 when they came back into international cricket, right? So this is a very different kind of. It's not a yes or no kind of a subject. I think over a period of time, as happens, it's more of a cultural evolution than a cricket evolution. Arnold, I think your views on this.
I don't know. I mean, I've actually made a point earlier at on several forums saying that the decline in South African cricket over the last few years has been because they've been playing too many players just to match or meet the quota requirements. But then looking it up, I think statistically there wasn't too much to lend credence to that point of view. And also the other thing is that I think it's important. You definitely need. They have like people of color, black, Asian, whatever, have been underrepresented in South Africa since the beginning. I mean, it's only been in the last I'd say 2 decades that we've actually had non-white cricketers playing for South Africa, and most of them have been bowlers. There's been only one batsman of note, right? Bavuma. You don't really have any batsmen. The reason for that is because they don't have a system that brings up black people in South Africa and gives them enough of a chance to become good enough to represent the country. So yes, there is an issue. I don't know if a blanket like reservation system is the best idea, but you definitely need to improve the lower grassroots level system to get enough diversity in the people who then can represent the country. Because so one of the reasons why all of them are bowlers is because most of them grew up bowling. It's like how in England, when you had the class system from 1 century ago, when you had professionals and amateurs, you had all the professionals were mostly bowlers and all the amateurs were batsmen, because the bowlers had to do the hard work of bowling all the time, and they became bowlers. They were professional, they were paid to do that. Other guys, amateurs, came and batted for 2 hours and then went home after that. So yeah, so the reason why they were bowlers and mostly black bowlers, because they were the guys who were made to do all the hard work of bowling all the time. They just picked that up and started doing that. So you don't have black batsmen because you don't have the right system at the lower level. So that needs to change. I don't think I'm always against just blanket reservations in any case. So I have a pretty off-center view on that. But yes, I think there is definitely improvement, and it needs to continue, but from a lower level rather than from the top state.
Okay. So
So Naman, please disregard Debanjan Bose's question. It is clearly directed at me.
which one?
The one about quizmasters considering imitating
In
bowling
terms-
actions and batting stances and tennis serve actions. Yeah. Should QMs consider imitating bowling actions, batting stances, and tennis service actions to illustrate the question or some rubbish? Has this been done in quizzes? So that is
So I
clearly-
think, Manas, just regarding your last one, I'm trying to think of fun cricket facts. But since you asked me the one that astounds me the most, and I'm just it still blows my mind, is I think the 2007 and 2011 World Cups. I'm not sure which two, but two consecutive ones had the exact same number of runs scored in each of them, and the number was something like 100,000 and some 101,000 something, right? So for them to be exactly equal is probably like a 1 in 10,000 chance or some shit like that, or even more than that. So you could have like 10,000 World Cups, and you would probably not have two World Cups having the exact same number of runs. So, but I told you I'm a stats guy, and for me that is probably one of the most mind-blowing coincidences.
So, ladies and gentlemen watching on YouTube, the next time you want to have a cricket quiz done, who to go to.
I'm very bad at setting quizzes though, so I'd love to take part.
Okay.
Unless you mind VCat, because then you'd probably get him imitating the bowler's action or something on stage, and might throw his elbow or something, or throw his shoulder over there.
Or throw my shoulder. Alrighty.
I guess we should start with the rapid fire round.
Is this where our internet starts to go bad? Okay, Naman.
So,
All yours.
yeah, I will start with VCat first. So, rapid fire questions for everyone. So, I'll start with VCat first. So, VCat, the first question is the quizzing genre you hate the most.
Actually, it is. Damn. I'll tell you what. Hold on. Actually, it's gaming.
Gaming. Okay. So you hate gaming like PC gaming and all?
Generally, collaborative, PC, whatever.
Okay.
Even as I'm
So
pretty
moving
good.
on. Okay, moving on. Second rapid fire question. Complete the following: washing powder Nirma, washing powder Nirma.
Something, shushma. I'll tell you what. Something, washing powder Nirma, washing powder Nirma. something. Oh, damn! I know this one.
This is better than any bowling action getting imitated. Huh? Yes.
Then I'll do the tune for you. Something Sushma Nirma.
Okay.
That's 12.
Moving on. This is I will give a motto of a certain university. You have to guess the university. Knowledge crowns those who seek her.
Yeah, this is like, you know it or you don't, man. Is it VIT?
VIT won't have such a sophisticated motto.
Oh gosh.
Take a glance
Maybe
at your
is
shirt.
this one of the many
Not my shirt.
universities that VCat has attended?
Yeah, it's your college's motto.
This is not my college's motto.
Yeah, the reason why I asked it.
It looks like some
You have to,
Ramji
you have to
Maharaj
specify
gave this
which.
thing.
You
I
have to
would know my
specify
own.
which college, Naman.
No, I told him.
This is Syracuse. Really? I got to find this out. I never knew this one. I'm sure
Is
it's a
this
Syracuse?
Syracuse or is this where is this?
Syracuse.
Are
Yeah.
you
Okay.
sure not bits?
Okay.
So basically, we know VCat has not attended at least one of the universities that he claims to have attended. I mean, now whether he was actually from like Bishops or Marys or whatever, who knows?
Yeah, I like my many passports. Yeah, sure.
And the last question for you, VCat, is mimic Sushma Swaraj.
Chulelale.
Yeah, I wanted that. Yeah. Okay. So moving on to Manas now. So Manas, your net is working fine. I don't want any issues. So according to you, what name should Yogi Adityanath choose for Ben Stokes?
Ben Stokes. That's a good one. Maybe Badrinath or something. I don't know. Maybe Badrinath comes close, but I think, yeah, Badrinath should be fine.
Okay, you're going with Badrinath. Second, क्या आपके टूथपेस्ट में नमक है?
Pounce.
टूथपेस्ट में बहुत ज्यादा ही नमक है यार. आपके
Okay.
सवाल में बहुत नमक है.
And now sing the anthem of Kolkata Knight Riders.
So see, Jeetbo just doesn't apply to them anymore. So Jeetbo, Corpo, Lorbo, dash, whatever you can add.
Harbo.
Maybe they can. The chief minister can still paint her paintings behind that. So
Were they inspired by the Marx brothers or was it like Groucho, Harpo, Chico?
Pretty much that. Hey, namak wala toothpaste was Lara Datta, I think.
It's not a quiz. It's not a quiz, VCat.
I had to say something. All right.
yeah, so
Okay.
it's
And where is Dalma National Park located? Not a national park, I guess. Dalma Sanctuary.
it's my ex-town, the town I mentioned where Ram Naresh Sarwan actually hit a 4 of the second last ball, Jamshedpur. I think Arnold would know this. I think only one match India has won there, an ODI, in which Saurav Ganguly scored a century. Other than that, I think we've played some 3 or 4 matches and lost all of them.
So basically, you should stop attending matches over there, right? Is what you're saying.
I have
It's all
attended
your
only
fault.
one. I have attended one with 100% loss record.
Okay, moving on to Arnold. So Arnold, your favorite place to visit in Goa?
In Goa, well, most of it is Russia now. So I think I'd have to stick to the South Goa. So Palolem or something probably. North Goa is all Russians, unfortunately, and that's where my house is.
Okay. So moving on, number of test wickets taken by Wasim Akram.
Wasim Akram has 414 or 15.
14 on the buzzer.
414.
like on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Yeah.
right. And which college is referred to as Upper ki IIT? IIT Upper.
That unlike VCat, I did actually go to Vishwakarma Institute of Technology, so I do know that is the answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your last question is MS Dhoni strikes it into the stands. Impersonate Billy Bowden. Uh, you are Billy Bowden.
So
So,
you can't see the whole thing, right? But there you go.
yeah.
If the video is not clear, it might look like I'm showing another finger, and then that would be a problem on YouTube. So
No, the thing is, there was a bit of problem on YouTube, so I've recorded this whole thing. 30-35
oh,
minutes मैंने पूरा recording कर
okay,
दिया है, in
all
which
right,
all three of you are visible. So we can upload it later on YouTube.
cool.
So will we need lawyers or something?
So that might actually be one of VCat's alternate professions also. So we're safe over there.
seriously, man. All right. Okay. We had a good time.
Okay. So I guess we ended right on time, 2:30.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining, taking out your time on a
Thanks,
weekend.
Naman. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you so
And
much.
congratulations on the magazine.
Yes.
Yeah,
Good job.
thank you.
We need to get the word out about the magazine and do as much as we can, and of course use our respective networks. Naman, Atharv, and then QSoc team. Fantastic session, fantastic roundup. Of course, well organized. Thank you so much.
Yeah, great job,
Thank you.
Naman and team. I
Yeah.
hope people do find the article useful, and you can perhaps direct to them if they have any queries. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
sure.
Yeah. I
Thank
like
you,
the
Manas.
article, Manas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's a high praise.
Alrighty.
Okay. Thank
All
you,
right.
guys.
You have a
Bye.
good
All
rest of
right.
the weekend. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks. Take care,
See
viewers.
you. Yep.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.